Good morning. It's Germany. We're here at the MLK breakfast getting ready for a great time. Ben Crump is going to be this year's parade marshal, and it's going to be a wonderful event. As you can see, we have the sponsors and everyone getting ready here in this Galen Center, and it is really going to be a wonderful celebration of the MLK breakfast and parade.
We're getting ready for the Kingdom Day Parade!
What does it mean to you to be here today, Congresswoman Waters?
I am so pleased to be here today to honor the life, times, and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm so pleased that Adrian Dove recognized that we had fires that had gone on in LA City and LA County, and that we had to pay attention to that, but he certainly was not going to let the opportunity pass to have the Kingdom Day Parade, where we all have an opportunity to come out of our homes and honor the work of Dr. Martin Luther King and all of those who have followed in his footsteps to try and make our community stronger and better, and our country live up to the Constitution of the United States. I started out some years ago, and I'm not going to tell you how many, because you'll think I'm as old as Adrian Dove. I might be, but I ain't telling it. But I want you to know I started out with Celeste King, who was the original founder, and I want you to know that he was but a pup learning at the feet of Celeste King, and he learned well. He learned well, and he's committed his life and his career to this Kingdom Day Parade. He makes sure it happens. And I want to tell you, it is not easy. Yes, we have sponsors, but it's never enough money. Yes, we have those who come at Dr. Martin Luther King's annual celebration and all of that. But I want you to know there's a lot more that can be done. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the sponsors today, because some of them I'm along with so well. But I want you to know that I serve as the chair of the Financial Services Committee. I know all of Wall Street, I know every bank, I know how financial systems work. And I'm so appreciative of Wells Fargo and the $2 million that was just mentioned. It should have been $20 million. Oh, they're getting a little nervous right now. But that's okay, because they made a commitment to Altadena. And we know those are legacy homes up there. We have second and third generation, young people, middle-aged people living in those homes. They've got to be rebuilt. But they can't be rebuilt unless we have significant from the bank. I want a reduction in down payments. 20% is too much. I want to make sure that people of color are not being charged more interest rates than whites who get these loans at these rates. And I'm not saying everybody, I'm not saying anybody, but I'm saying all whites.
That's right.
Because I understand so well how they work. So thank you, Wells, for being here today. I'm going to follow you and to make sure that you do everything that can be done. But ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this. At this time of year, we always hear a statement and a question. And people say, oh my God, look what's happening to us. What would Dr. Martin Luther King say about this? Well, we all speculate about what he might say, but I know one thing for sure. He would not be a coward. He would not hide. He would not fail to stand up for what is right. We have just experienced an election in November. And it was someone who had been president before. Lost to Bible, but had the opportunity to come back and to run an election and to win. You know, when that song was played earlier about America, that was Ray Charles.
Yes.
And he was talking about how wonderful this country is. But I want you to know, we love this country also. We've had to make it a better place. We have fought racism and discrimination, and we are not about to let Trump and Elon Musk and anybody else undermine us, take away our opportunity, and turn this country into a place of the billionaires of the world. We cannot do that. And I want to tell you, now I started on Trump in his first election. And I don't like to say it, but I told you so. I told you so. I knew he was going to be divisive. Yep. I knew that he was going to be harmful. I knew that he was all about himself. And I knew that given the opportunity, he was going to focus on people of color. Adrian, I want you to know, when he rolled out to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, he charged the people of color in the American Airlines plane somehow that they were the cause of it, and he started his campaign right there to let you know that that was a hot item on his agenda, that he was going to go after diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, I want you to know that hit me right in the stomach. I created the first Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Subcommittee of the Congress of the United States of America. I want you to know, serving on financial services, I understand how finance works. I understand what has developed over the years that has excluded most of us and people of color from being able to be on Wall Street, to be CEOs of the major corporations of America. And guess what? Trump is in our face. Not only did he have an inauguration, where of course he always claims there's more people attending than not, and was he glad the weather was bad, because he knew that he wouldn't have the numbers that Obama had. But let me just tell you this. This president of the United States of America not only has taken on diversity, equity, and inclusion, but he has charged every office, every department of government to get rid of anything that looks like, sounds like, or acts like diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they had the audacity to tell some people to get out by 5 o'clock. Some they're telling them to get out of their offices by 3 o'clock. Well, you know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like we were told by these sundown towns. Wow. When they told us, get out of here at 5 o'clock. Wow. Ministers in the room, please forgive me, but I ain't taking this shit. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. I had 12 brothers and sisters. We were poor. We were on welfare most of the time. I want you to know my mom worked in white people's houses, cleaning when she had an opportunity to, in between the babies, etc. I want you to know that I had teachers, happened to be all black for the most part, in the James Weldon Johnson School, elementary school that I went to. And I want you to know that they taught us that we were somebody, no matter how poor we were. They taught us that we were voice. They came to our homes. They embraced us. And they helped us to keep moving and to do what the talents that we have would allow us to do. And so, when I'm confronted with somebody like Trump and Elon Musk, I know what they're up to.
Thank you.
And I'm going to take a little time to tell you. First of all, Elon Musk is in Hawthorne in my district. I'm going to go see him with 400-500 people. I want you to know he's running rampant throughout the government. Commenter and I were over at the Treasury Department after he had raided it and taken all of our private information.
Yep.
And the Treasury Department is that place where all of the payments that government makes goes through. I don't care what it is, whether it is a nonprofit, whether it's housing, whatever, it all goes through the Treasury Department. He has a database now, and as far as I'm concerned, he's going to monetize it because he has a database that's very, very huge and very important. But now he's in every department. As a matter of fact, he's running wild. He just went into the Energy Department and kicked out some very special people and made such a big mistake, he's trying to call them back. Guess what? They were in charge of the nuclear program in this country. They're the ones who kept us safe. They're the ones who monitored. They're the ones who were focused on nuclear. And he kicked them out, and of course he learned whom they are, and now they're trying to get them back. And some of the people said, no, I ain't coming. No, I'm not coming. But I want you to know that they put out something called Project 2025. They told you what they were going to do. They told you that they were going to close down the Department of Education. Didn't they tell you? And why they're closing it down? That's all student loans. That's Title I programs for all of the money that comes into the schools of low-income communities. Most of all of Los Angeles and South LA, and whether you're talking about New York or whether you're talking about St. Louis, all of that Title I money is directed for these young people so that they can get an education. But I'm convinced they don't want us to continue to be educated. I'm convinced when you look at Florida and they're banning books and they're saying you won't teach slavery, on and on and on. We were doing too well as we keep to progress. But now, no matter what we've done, there's a huge wealth gap that may never be closed. But we've got to fight to try and do it because we love this country, we are part of this country, we have to make it a better country, and we deserve the wealth that others have that we're not been able to achieve because we've been cut out of the opportunity. We've been denied the opportunity. And so, I want you to know that the President of the United States is issuing these orders every day. I have the whole book of them all right here. I don't have them all, it's only 49 of them in this book. But it's from everything from education to public housing, everything. And I want you to know this. We went over to the Department of Education early in the morning, it's cold as hell in Washington. We went, about 20 of us. And we said we came because we want to know about this woman that you put in charge of education that doesn't know a darn thing about education. We want to know why you did that. Of course, they were expecting us, and they stood, as you saw it on television, you saw the security guard stand in front of the door. Now, if I'd been a little young, I would have knocked him out. However, the muscles don't continue to work the same way they did when you're younger, because I was an athlete now, I was strong. But we stood there and we engaged him. We said to him, who are you? Give me your ID. I asked him for it 3 times. The 4th time, he showed it every time, but I kept asking him for it every time he put it back in his pocket. And he said, finally, well, I showed it to you. And I said, well, show it to me again. I want to see whom you are. I'm here fighting for you to have a job. I'm here fighting for your children to have an education. Get on back and let us in. Of course, he did not do it, but we got to show up. We got to be there. We've got to be at Treasury. We've got to be at education. We've got to be everywhere that we can. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, we were there. And at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which we created under the Dodd-Frank reforms, we made sure that you had some place to tell people you were being ripped off and call government. So I see Adrian is here. He's ready. I'm going to tell you some more, and I will if I could. But here's the final word. The final word is this. Our democracy is under attack. We will lose our democracy If Trump and the billionaires that you saw at his inauguration own this country, and I'm talking about these giant stores that we participate and spend our money in every day. You've got to show up. You've got to fight. You've got to understand that if we are to save the democracy, that the only way it's going to happen after they try to run over the courts is the people are going to have to be in the street. Are you willing? Yes. I did not tell you. I want you to be with me when I show up and I call on you to stand with me. If you can't do it, don't say you got my back, because you don't have my back.
Hi everybody, this is German and I am here with my wonderful Congresswoman from the 43rd District. I'm so proud of this vessel right here. She is a standing testimony of what it means to be a woman who has stood her ground. And I'm so proud of you. I just want to let you know, as my Congresswoman, the one that has been at our town hall meetings, leading the charge.
Yes,
you are an important person. We all just are so proud of you and so proud to be a part of your legacy.
This is Congresswoman Maxine Waters, and you're watching PopSource TV.
Okay, Congresswoman, Karen's got a space for you. Yeah.
We just need a place to park. Just come. Okay, I'll follow her.
You
good? All right, yeah. All right.
I'll be as best as I can, like Auntie.